of the impact of the implementation, they will double or even triple in the second and third tranche. So thank you.
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much. And then, so right now, many of us were saying how they are going to get started and what are the services that we do have. So management was able to craft a model where we will accommodate different organizations at a certain level in such a way that both parties will really work hand in hand. And this has been approved by management, and I'd like to ask Ms. Nicole to share it to the body. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Glenda and Father Alwin. Okay. So allow me to share our membership. As mentioned by Dr. Glenda, this has been approved by management, and we are now ready to share this to the ecosystem. So first, we have for the general membership. This general membership is open to all. Okay, so items covered. We have seat to the Asian Philanthropic Development Conference, access to live or recorded training session per pillar, access for the whole organization to attend the virtual Spring Ring Global 6-Pillar Capacitation Model Bootcamp, discounted access to other capacity building conferences and trainings, and access to other workshops, conferences under a pillar of your choice. So we have for leadership, program development and management, philanthropy, financial planning, database, and ecosystem. So another type of membership is for the Srgpdo Ecosystem membership. So this membership is for those organizations or for those companies na nakapag-decide na po na they will now have their office, the PDO, okay? Ayan. I'm sorry, internet is really bad. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, Miss Nicole, we can hear you na.
Hello?
We can hear
Ayan.
you.
Okay, okay. Thank you po. So for the Srgpdo Ecosystem membership, we have bronze and silver. So for the general membership, it's USD 500. So for the benefits for this, we have 1 face-to-face seat or 2 virtual seats for the Asian Philanthropic Development Conference, and 1 live or recorded training per pillar. that you can access. And then for the discounted access to the other capacity building trainings and conferences and trainings, 10%. And then access to other workshops or conferences under a pillar of your choice, not included in the general membership. The same with the access for the whole organization to attend the virtual Spring Rain Global 6-pillar capacitation model bootcamp. And then under the Srgpdo ecosystem membership, for the bronze membership, it's 1,200 USD. So one face-to-face seat or 2 virtual seats for the Asian Philanthropic Development Conference. The Asian Philanthropic Development Conference is annual po. That's every July. And 1 live or recorded training per pillar. And access for the whole organization to attend the virtual Spring Rain Global 6-pillar capacitation model bootcamp for 900 USD. And a discounted access to other capacity building conferences and trainings, that's 20%. And hindi rin po included in the bronze membership the access to other workshops or conferences under a pillar of your choice. And lastly, we have the silver membership. That's 2,500 USD. So 2 face-to-face seat or 4 virtual seats for the Asian Philanthropic Development Conference, 3 live or recorded trainings per pillar. And for the access for the whole organization to attend the virtual Spring Rain Global's 6-pillar capacitation model bootcamp, that's USD 900. And discounted access to other capacity building conferences and trainings, that's 25%. And access to other workshops or conferences under a pillar of your choice, that's 2 workshops. We have the resource generation plan and comprehensive log frame. So the actual cost for the general membership, that's 1,150 USD. So amount of discount, it's USD 650. And for the bronze membership, the actual cost, it's USD 2,050. And the amount of discount is 850 USD. And for a silver membership, the actual cost is 4,700 USD, and the amount of discount is 2,200 USD. So if you come to think of it, if you will not access to the membership or not enroll to the membership, the cost will be more expensive. And we move on to the consultancy or coaching. So after the membership, after you have enrolled to the membership and want to immerse more and go on with the coaching, so this is now the scheme. So option 1, this is the full packed benefits that you will get. This is option 1. So we have a different rate for profit, that's USD 1,300, and not for profit, it's USD 900. So this is a with access to pledge fund per month. So another benefits that you will be getting for option 1, consultancy for new PDOs who want to jumpstart their journey to sustainability. So access for the whole organization to attend the Spring Rain Global's 6-pillar PDO capacitation model bootcamp, virtual, and then unlimited access to all recorded or live training sessions per pillar, unlimited access to one-on-one coaching or consultation sessions per pillar, discount to conferences and training, eligibility to avail of fund facilitation services and ecosystem level fundraising and awareness events and campaigns, training and granting of a license to use Pledgefront software, a donor management and impact reporting system developed by AlphaTech Global Solutions Incorporated with the Spring Rain Global 6-pillar capacitation model in mind. It is a web-based software that PDOs can use to collect and process data needed to inform programmatic, philanthropic, and financial decisions. And we also have option 2. So again, we have a different rate for profit. It's USD 900 and not for profit USD 600. And with access to Pledgefront per month. So the other benefits that you will be getting: to do one-on-one coaching on a per need basis, discount to conferences and training, eligibility to avail of fund facilitation services and ecosystem level fundraising and awareness events and campaigns, training and granting of a license to use Pledgefront software. And then option 3, for profit rate, it's USD 700, and not for profit, it's USD 500, with access to Pledgefront monthly. And the other benefits that you will be getting: to do one-on-one coaching on a per need basis, eligibility to avail of fund facilitation services and ecosystem level fundraising and awareness events and campaigns, and training and granting of a license to use Pledgefront software. So the purpose of our retainership or coaching will access to Srg US and Singapore consultants. So for the fund facilitation, this is donor linkages through grant proposal, networking, fundraising, campaigns, and events. So we have a 10% service fee for every successful funding. And outsourced services, we have this grant writing, creatives, event management, and video making. So for the fund facilitation service, the department will initially work with the following network partners or potential funders. So we have Father Lord Winner or Catholic funding agencies, Isla Ventures, Wings or Worldwide Initiative for Grant Maker Support, AVPN, Asian Venture Philanthropy Network, Funds for NGOs, individual networks for the PDO Global Ambassadors, GIIN or Global Impact Investing Network, and of course, Srg US and Singapore. And Spring Rain, however, will not be limited to work with funders from these networks alone, but can also work with other potential funders, investors, donors, based on the results of its regular research. So for event management and contracted services, So SRG events, we have Missions Cup, SRG Voice, Global Sleep Out, and to earn via sponsorships or percentage of ticket sales or administrative fees. We can apply the 70-30 or 80-20 rule. And can outsource services for grant writing, solicitation writing, social media management, events management, writing, design of collaterals, writing, design of website, video, script writing, shooting or directing and editing, and screening and orientation of PDO staff. So in summary, our services or the Spring Global Services, we have the consultancy and trainings, retainership, fund facilitation services, events, contracted services, product solutions, and membership. So that's all. And we now proceed with the panel discussion. And may I now call our moderator, the financial planning pillar head of Spring Ring Global, and our chief of staff, Ms. Anne Marie Baring.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon. Yes, Ms. Anne.
I'd like to encourage everyone to open up and ask questions. You may address it now or forever hold your peace. Starting from the discussion this morning, I cannot memorize who are here, but okay, I'll just like to mention everyone who's here. Southbrook, Don Carlo, Cavina, is Sister Grace, Sister Nida, Father Ray, Father Nestor, Miss Jeannie, Father Alwen, Mr. Bubi Quintanar, LSQC, Miss Ginaline, Sister Flora, Ma'am Corazon, Mr. Intoy, Sister Flor, Father Christian, Miss Leia, Southbrook, Angel, Ara, and then Miss Ara, Irene Paler, from Caritas Rai, from Southbrook, Miss Ruth. I hope I called everyone out because I have 2 pages. Mr. Ronel, Miss Norma, Srgpdo, CDMC, Gibak Foundation, Ana Ruby, Mama Marisa, Father Gerald is here, Miss Vivian, Leyte Kalipayan, Ramon Fernandez Foundation, Grace Paulino, Father Orvan, and then Miss Darlene, San Carlos PDO, Father Mario is here, and Sister Christine. So I'd like to call back the speakers, Miss Glenda, Miss Nicole, and Miss Kiel for the panel. Can you spotlight, please, Kleini or Cha or Nicole? So I hope you have questions for our speakers. This is the best time to clarify your queries, okay? I would like to start off first with Miss Nicole, okay? You mentioned about the, I will not ask you if human capital is important. We all know the answer to that. But if the person has the right mindset, the right tool set, and the right skill set, would you say character is also important? Miss Nicole? Nakamute po.
Miss Anne?
Yes. Did you get my question? Or shall I?
No, I'm sorry. The line was really bad. Yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay, I'll repeat my question. I will not ask you if human capital is important because we all know the answer to that. But if if an employee has the right mindset, the right skill set, and the right tool set, would you say that character is also important?
Yes. Character is really important. Sorry, I cannot turn on my camera.
Okay, it's okay.
My internet is really bad. Yes, character is really important. Skills can be taught, but you cannot teach character, especially when it comes to honesty. You cannot it's an attitude. It's the upbringing of a person. So you cannot teach character, or you cannot teach how a person can share, or can really be of can hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so attitude, you cannot really that's attitude. You cannot teach someone with their attitude. You can just inform him or her that this is good, this is bad. But if the person doesn't want to change his or her bad attitude, I think we can't do anything about it. So yes, character is really important.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Next question. I'd like to address this to Ms. Kel. Ms. Kel, you've been a development worker most, if not all, of your career life. Am I right po, to say that? Yes, okay. So that means to say you have journeyed with other NGOs, nonprofits, and all that. So you do the fundraising and then spend for the advocacy and then fundraise again, do it all over again. Now that you are with Spring Rain, I guess 2 years na po ba? I'm addressing this to you because I don't want to address it to Dr. Glenda because she crafted the SRG6 capacitation model, and it would be self-serving because she crafted it and have it copyrighted. My question is, because you were a development worker most of your career life, would you say that the SRG 6-pillar capacitation model embraces or encompasses everything that an NGO or nonprofit needs? Or I'll make it shorter. Is it holistic?
Siguro po, to answer na lang your question, I compare the 6-pillar capacitation model with the seal of good housekeeping of the Philippine Council for NGO Certification. And it is aligned. It is aligned. So ibig sabihin po, for all our PDOs who are here, who are wanting or hoping to have to be able to get donee accreditation so that their donors will have tax in nawala yung lahat ng mga kasama ko.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe we need to wait for them. Maybe it's seconds lang so that you will have to repeat your answer. Hold on, ha. Are they back? Maybe they will connect sa phone po nila, magdi-data.
Ayan na si Dr.
Yes, nandiyan na si Madam. So she can hear you na. Sige po, Miss Kel.
So as mentioned po, it is aligned with the Philippine Council for NGO Certification. Our 6-pillar capacitation models aligned with their checklists of what they look for in organizations applying for accreditation that would allow them to give tax incentives to their donors. So in that manner, those na PDOs who will complete the journey with us will find it easier to be able to hurdle this requirement and be able to give the same amount of support for their donors. But aside from that compliance with our local laws here in the Philippines, I think even po without that, the 6 pillars, the different pillars po in the PDO capacitation model looks holistically in a system, so that as I mentioned earlier, it will help them become more resilient, navigate and surpass risks that they may encounter. Yun lang, Miss Anne.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kel. Dr. Glenda, as the author, would you like to add on that?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Gail. I just wanted to affirm that when I did my studies in doctoral, my paper was on philanthropic fundraising for parishes. That was the study on the system in the parish level here in Cebu. And hindi ko pa na-craft yung pillar na yun. But then I realized that one is connected to the other. And if it is a pillar, it should be there for sustainability. And I have seen that there are organizations that have been receiving funding, huge amount of funding, but yet now they're still not sustainable because there was only one focus of space on sources. And when even funding agencies, when they came to the Philippines and they left the Philippines, they thought that the organizations already crafted their own sustainability plan, but yet hindi pa. So kulang siya yung grant in itself as a pillar. So when that had happened, I realized that I think the organic evolution of this was because of our experience over the past years that made us see that these are essential things that should be capacitated to the different organizations. Even if you are not a PDO, even if you are a company or an organization, some of the important elements are there because it entails complete parang stability when we talk about long-term sustainability.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Doc. Oh, we have 2 questions on the chat box. I will reserve Sir Intoy's question for later. This is from the Srgpdo, from Ms. Jessa Baltazar. Since human capital is important, can you say that a PDO will succeed without a full-time staff? Ms. Nicole, what can you say about part-time staff? And then Ms. Glenda and Ms. Kel would answer next.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Jessa, for your question. I would really advise to have a full-time staff for the PDO because this is an office and it really needs a person, a full-time staff to handle inside the office. As mentioned by Dr. Glenda in one of our orientations with the PDO is an extension of the office inside the organization. So same with the other departments or same with the other offices, it would require a full-time staff.
Thank you, Nicole. What about you, Ms. Kel? What is your take on that?
Kasi there are PDOs manned by volunteers. Manned by volunteers, not necessarily full-time staff. It would help if you have a full-time staff, yes. But if you could manage din naman the number of hours that will be given by a non-full-time staff, but the quality of work is there. That's why rin po, gusto rin po sana namin makita in the future sino-sino yung nag-help for the PDO. So ilan sila? Hindi man sila full-time, pero ilan sila? Tapos sana mat-track natin how many hours are they devoting to the PDO per week? And in that week, what are their tasks in the PDO? What are the things that they're doing? I think Miss Nicole also talked about this. That is the only time that we can really analyze kung eto bang mga staff na ito, dahil nga part-time lang sila or volunteer lang sila. Tapos makikita natin sa analysis, makikita natin when they write down the number of hours and the kind of work that they are doing for the PDO. That's after we have gotten those data, that is when we can recommend to the PDO director or to the superior na, Father, eto lang yung na kayang gawin ng mga volunteers. Hanggang dito lang yung nakikita natin na kaya nilang productivity because they're also doing other things. So when the data says na kailangan po ng full-time staff talaga para mag-move on. Kasi makikita po natin yan pag kunwari level 1 pa rin, level 1, level 2, hindi po nagpo-progress si PDO for a long time. Minsan po kahit may staff, hindi nagpo-progress in a long time kahit na may one staff. Meron naman po tayong PDO na kahit manned lang by volunteers, ang bilis, nakagagawa agad ng log frame, nakakagawa agad ng grant proposal kahit 1 month, 2 months pa lang. So, I guess po, it will boil down to analysis muna. Analysis of what the current people who are helping the PDO, whether they are full-time or part-time, whether they are paid or volunteers are doing. And then after we have analyzed, that's when we could recommend na baka father or baka sister, it's time for you to hire somebody else. Or kung meron naman silang na-hire, baka father, baka sister, it's time for you to reconsider the person that you have hired because he or she is not giving you the productivity that is expected of the position. So sorry po, ako po palagi pag tinatanong mo ko, Miss Ann, hindi ako maka-blanket question. Palagi akong depending on the situation, depending on the data. Kaya po PDO, submit your report. Thank you.
Madam, please add on that.
Yes, it would depend on how you define, Miss Jess, the success that you want to accomplish. You have targets po, and I think our targets will not also dwell on a half-baked commitment. So the targets, for example, if your target is 30 million and you still expect na wala kang full-time, iba ang nangyayari doon. I mean, the variance between your target and the number of people that you put in the picture. So I agree with both Nicole and Ms. Kiel na if you commit to do something for humanity, have that faith that this is work for God. I mean, para sa akin kasi, choose the right person and equip the right person and everything else will fly. Kasi pag sa simula pa, doubtful ka na, wala din talagang mangyayari. But volunteers is a good factor, but it won't last long it depends on your volunteer management program. We tested one in the parish level ngayon na lahat sila volunteers, but we also remunerated, but the remuneration is not for a employee na remuneration. Parang allowances lang po, sister. But Miss Jess, but it was something that would equip them with that professionalism of some sort because of the time that they will have to spend. The limitations of people not working full-time is that what if the donor would need time to respond? So kailangan mong i-balance din. But this is people work, this is relationship building, and para sa akin, I still believe that you go through your end goal and what for you is success. So pag sinasabi mong hindi full-time, meron siyang portion of time. So if hindi siya full-time, ima-manage yung number of hours that you're saying, Ms. Jess, na i-render niya to the PDO. And with that number of hours, anong maging success measurement mo for that part-time staff? Because I have also seen full-time people not delivering. I have seen part-time people delivering. So it's really a matter of an inherent nasa leadership din po yan ng director, nasa leadership ng PDO, nasa environment po ng PDO yon. So pag sinasabi mong hindi full-time, there is time still, but you have to measure that time. Kaya nung kanina pinesent ni Ms. Nicole ang scoreboard, because if you manage the scoreboard very, very well, you could still measure your success even with a short span of time that you're putting it. Kaya lang, don't expect a variance of output na suntok sa buwan na hindi naman siya kakayanin. But please take note na in philanthropy, if you ignite it and you put the system in place, mag-ripple at mag-ripple yan. But kailangan may magmo-monitor. The example of Father Alwen was when we launched the 500 gifts during the event, and they were in September, every month pumapasok na yung funds because of the event. So may magmo-monitor nun. So in other words, look at the scope of the possibility and try to see that when you're getting funding and you allocate for admin, magre-ripple at magre-ripple yan. This is a very good blessing na work, and God will truly bless it if you will put good steward to it. Hindi rin kasi siya pwedeng na we don't also put premium on people. Kasi we care for the carers, we care for the development workers. So I hope that answers your question, Miss Jess. I know that in the school setup, may mga class work kayo, di ba? Because you have a job already, paid sila, Miss Anne. And they are adding the PDO as their added job.
Yeah, I think it goes well with commitment. If they're committed po. Nawala po yung connection ni Madam.
Balance, you have to be predictable. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Madam. We are down to our 2 questions because we will still be having the election of the new set of ecosystem officers. So please hold on, don't go yet. Okay. I'd like to address this question of Sir Intoy first to Kiel. As regards to human resource management, what minimum legal requirements should a PDO or a nonprofit organization observe so as to be compliant to labor laws? The requirements to labor laws sometimes hinder nonprofits to deal with staff acquisition professionally and legally. Ms. Kel, having been a development worker, what is your say?
I will pass from this question because this is legal and this is HR, Miss Anne. I am sorry. I apologize to Sir Intoy and Dr. Glenda and Miss Anne because I don't want to answer anything that I don't have really full confidence, full knowledge.
I think the minimum, Ms. Kel, if we're talking about the minimum, then the salary should be minimum. Am I right? Kasi pag a development worker or non-profit or volunteer, sinasabing walang bayad. Walang ano. So, Dr. Glenda, can you...
Church. Medyo guilty ang church with that.
Yun na nga eh. Kasi volunteer lang, ganito, ganyan. So, may mga legal issues regarding this. May come up na mga legal issues. So, if you're talking about the minimum, minimum. Yun, magkano, iba po kasi yung minimum, how do you call that, salary po, per region, per city.
Minimum wage law. Minimum wage law.
Yes po. So, Madam, and then maybe Miss Leia, you want to add
To answer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, last
As executive director and representing a non-profit foundation, we are really mandated by law to provide the mandated law benefits to regular employees, including the staff that we hired in our PDO. So meaning they are receiving salaries according to the minimum requirement of the minimum wage law in NCR. So tama ka, Ms. Anne, the minimum wage law is different from different regions. So for example, in NCR at the moment, the salary of the staff is like 537 pesos per day, no? So that is the minimum wage law according to the labor law. And then aside from that, if they're already a regular employee, we need to provide counterparts in paying their PhilHealth, their SSS, and Pag-ibig. So these are the law mandated benefits that we are really required minimum, no, to provide hired employees, not only for the programs, but to the PDO employees as well. Okay, aside from the other benefits that the organization is willing to provide that are not law mandated. For example, free meals free transportation, free rice, whatever. But as far as the low mandated benefits, it is a requirement as well as by the Department of Social Welfare and Development, like us, as a development and welfare organization. They are requiring us to provide all those things to our staff, program, or otherwise, the PDO staff, to provide those low mandated as a registered license to operate by the DSWD, as well as in the accreditation process. So they are asking us a record or a report of how much each one is receiving and what are the benefits we are providing. So it's stipulated and as stated in our manual of operation. So as far as NGO and foundation is concerned, so I do not know sa mga church-based or corporate-based organizations. I'm just speaking in behalf of a foundation or a social welfare development organization. Thank you.
Salamat po, Ma'am Leia. Madam?
Can you hear me?
Yes, but nag-echo po.
Sorry, the internet is bad. I'm using my phone na. I'll speak for as an employer. The relationship between the employee and the employer would vary in terms of your agreement. So if i-agree mo siya that you're hiring that person for, let's say, a project, for example, so maging contract siya, mag-a-agree kayo at certain point in terms of services, no? And whatever is agreed na hindi siya full, kasi kung employee, bounded ka talaga to really follow the laws at a minimum. That is why we encourage the PDOs to really allocate for admin, because that is where you will put money to parang I think the difficulty why PDOs are not hiring is dun ang takot sa requirements kasi mapipilitan ka after 6 months to regularize, and pag hindi naman siya nagpe-perform, non-performance, may mga implication yan sa labor laws na either you terminate, and if you terminate, you have to pay the number of years that the client or the employee is staying with you, etc., etc. So at the onset, kailangan magkaroon ka ng agreement on the purpose of that person helping you. Project can be terminated after a certain project is done. Pwede naman siyang project employee, pwede naman siyang you can hire the person as a contract for a certain period of time and hire someone for yung sa employee side. Kasi yeah, that's true, Sir Intoy, that you have to really be careful on putting the structure, and that will be tackled in governance, leadership and governance, kung paano mo iha-handle po yun. Now, some, they do agree at the onset na 1 year lang yung stay, and then after a year, end na po. So with that, if that's being agreed and legally project-based siya, then the laws that will suffice under project-based, yun ang papasok. If you are hiring him as an employee, tapos lumagpas siya ng 6 months, wala ka talagang magawa doon. But after 6 months, you really have to provide those government support or benefits unless that employee is on a different setup of contracts. So may mga different, and in development work, it's very creative because it is not ordinarily hybrid, kasi siya yung type ng ng engagements niyo po. Hybrid siya in a way na iba siya sa corporate world, iba din siya dun sa pag may negosyo ka or something. But it is hybrid, kaya inaaral talaga siya. And many times development workers work more than 8 hours. I-agree mo din yon, kasi if you want them to make a report or something, i-exceed siya ng 8 hours, anong implication nun? Are you going to pay overtime or are you going to pay something like that? So we will help set up the rules and ground them the rules with the legality na wala kang ipit dun sa labor at the same time. So I hope that enlightens you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Ma'am Leia, and thank you, Madam.
Unless may tanong pa si Sir Sister Intoy.
Yeah, never mind. We will just address it later pa. So, last two questions, mag-election pa po. I really wanted to stretch this now because ngayon lang din tayo ulit all the PDOs, and it's nice to see the other PDOs coming back. I saw Kavina earlier. I saw marami ko nakita bago na bumalik. Dr. Glenda, I remember this phrase. I think there was in Camillian in 2018 or 2019, the no PDOs left behind. So how do you see how do you see it now that there's a new mode of services sa Srgpo? So how is it that no PDOs left behind, considering na may new mode of services po tayo?
Yeah. The management has designed something na people will really value yung relationship ba in terms of commitment. So many of the PDOs are wanting, kaya lang wala siyang capacity to set up. So we designed that kind of membership program para ang entry point mo, you pay the $500 a year. That's 25,000, and you become part of the ecosystem. You are recognized to be part of the ecosystem and ganyan as your entry point. But of course, if you are really thinking huge and big, you can grow up, you can level up. And para sa atin, the PDOs for us is there because they have a purpose, and some of the PDOs may not have success the same with the others. So we want to journey with them. Kaya lang, kung pupunta ka sa doctor, gusto mo talagang gumaling. And if you're there to ask for help, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin sa doctor na bahala ka, di ako susunod sa'yo, basta di ako magsasubmit kung meron akong symptoms or wala. So it will not serve the purpose. So the no PDOs left behind means you get to be part of the ecosystem, but we are predictable in terms of the opportunity that you want to avail and the opportunity that you will want us to be with you so that you will grow and level up. We will be focusing our attention on the predictability of both parties. Yung the journey of both parties to be together. Kasi sabi nga nila, kung hindi ka mag-i-invest ng oras mo, time, resources, you take it for granted. Kasi andyan lang naman sila. But if SRG grows so bigger in terms of number, we will put them all in a structure wherein i-accommodate pa din lahat. We understand the journey of each, don't get me wrong, but we understand also how far do you want us to be there for you and how far they would have to be there for me. Kaya nag-reach out talaga kami on everybody who became part of SRG at the onset, kasi para sa amin, dumaan kayo sa buhay namin, God must have a purpose for us, for you. Beyond business. Think of it beyond business. Magkano lang naman yung kikitain or income versus the opportunity that you're getting for your funding. Wala yon. It's not immeasurable. But we believe in the orchestration of God's parang divine appointment na baka walang naiintindihan at the onset and all that. And for the rest of the other PDOs who are already ready to fly, we're ready to guide you also all the way.
Thank you, Madam. So we are down to our last question. What is the ideal balance between, this is from Gibak Foundation, what is the ideal balance between hiring full-time staff and the utilization of volunteers to do the volunteer work? Hiring full-time and doing full-time work. What is the balance of it? Ms. Kel, what is the ideal balance?
The ideal balance you would be able to determine, as I've mentioned earlier, when there is defined roles for each. So even if you are full of volunteers, even if what you can afford right now are volunteers coming in only at 4 hours per day, for example, but if they have defined roles, if they have defined outputs, and they will be measured and tracked based on those pre-agreed roles and outputs, it might work. it might work. So ibig sabihin po kasi we really need to evaluate every time if they are doing talaga what they are supposed to do. And if at the end of a let's say let's give them 3 months to get to know the system, at the 4 hours per day or 6 hours per day that they could commit with the clear roles, clear definitions. And then after those 3 months siguro of testing it out, we could see kung kakayanin ba ng volunteer or dapat na mag-hire na isang full-time staff na dedicated talaga. As Ms. Ganda earlier said, it really is a leadership call. When it is a leadership call, that's why PDO directors need to be also hands-on, need to really know what their PDO staff are doing, what their PDO staff are up to, so that they'd be able to give the right amount of support for them. If that support would mean giving them more training, giving them a companion to help them with the task, yun, sana po it's a leadership call for the director.
Madam?
Okay, so for me, yung full-time dapat may isa kung pwede just to get started. And the rest of the other areas like on program management can be anchored on volunteers maybe, and then shift to tawag dito, yung magiging full-time sila. In the case of Give Back Foundation, your trust po, Sir Art, is on you being the funder and you connect with the community to implement your projects. So basically, the projects in the community may not be always there all the time. So there could be, like example, ngayon merong mga ganitong projects, so you have to pull people from Give Back to implement, for example. And then so on and so forth. So kahit may isa, kasi as a foundation also, you really have to have full-time people kasi registered na din kayo to run the business or to run the foundation. Kailangan mo na rin ng tao. When you run a company or any enterprise registered for that matter, kailangan ka talaga ng tao. How to in terms of how many, isa should be as a custody to begin with kasi funder ang role nyo, but you have to grow from there. It's inherent, I believe. I suppose it's inherent in every organization, dependent sa scope ninyo. And like adding to what Ms. Kel said, aralan nyo talaga kung anong scope ng program nyo. Kasi may mga program activities kayo na not necessarily needing full-time people. May mga program implementation kayo or impact monitoring kayo na you only have to need them for a couple of hours or weeks and tapos wala na. Masa-standby din sila, di ba? So you will have to do the job analysis that was Nicole was saying. Job analysis is not on person. Job analysis is on the office. The office that is needed to run the whole organization. Now, if those offices will be filled with one and apat na office, kailangan alam mo na as a person, apat ang functions mo. Hindi ka lang puro database, ikaw si database, ikaw sa communication, ikaw sa events, but divide that. Kasi malulula ka sa hindi, parang you'll be burned out in the process. But kung alam mo mag-manage at the onset, pero tulungan ka rin namin and that's the beauty of SRG is you have the ecosystem. You have all of us to tap in terms of people and manpower to help you ba get the track moving.
Thank you.
Then,
Yes.
short na lang, dagdag ko na lang rin dun sa sinabi ni Dr. Glenda. When we look at hiring a staff, how much ba, kunwari, ang minimum or an acceptable wage for a PDO staff? Maybe 15,000, 18,000, 20,000. But if that person would be able to close donations for you, kahit na 100,000 lang na ipasok niyan sa isang buwan, tumubo ka na from the 15 or 18 or 20,000 that you invested in that staff, rather than keeping that money in the bank and losing value for that money in the long run. So it is an investment. I think it was mentioned earlier also by Dr. Glenda that hiring people is an investment that would give you more ROI than actually investing in stocks or than actually putting that money in the bank where the interest rate is less than 1%. So yun lang rin po. At I know that personnel, hiring personnel is a fixed cost, but it also has fixed benefits din naman to your organization. Even at the very least, 50,000 lang ang maklose po niyan, covered pa rin yung salary niya na binigay niya po sa kanya.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kel. Thanks for the answer. Having defined roles and specific target and objectives is good guidance for program directors. That's coming from Gibak Foundation. As much as I want to go on with the election of the officers, I would like to ask this on a personal note. You know, we have already successful PDOs and not so successful. We know that I would like to call back Ms. Nicole because I want to have a fresh perspective. As you all know, Nicole is the youngest of us. This is her first job, and she has journeyed with the PDOs like 90 or 95% of Glenda's meetings. She's there, so she has journeyed. I would just like to ask this: we know that Rome was not built in one day, but what do you think? And the successful PDOs now were also struggling during their time when they were new, right? It wasn't like they woke up and then they were already successful. So I just like to ask, what do you think is the common ground or reason why the PDOs are not still seeing results? Nicole, can you answer first? She's there.
Yes, hello. Can
Yes.
you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. As mentioned, Miss Anne, during my introduction earlier, people are our assets.
Okay.
So yeah. So I think that if we just invest on people and try to explore and check on the possibility that if we just put, as mentioned by Miss Glenda, to start for the initial start up with the PDOs, if we could just put one
Naputol na naman po. We'll just, Ms. Nicole, are you there? Maybe Ms. Kel, you can answer. And then I'll call back Nicole and then Dr. Glenda.
The question was what we think is
Yes, having journeyed with the PDOs.
making
You've seen those PDOs who are successful and that, yeah.
ang hirap naman ng tanong mo, Miss Anne.
On a personal note, tanga.
On a personal note, based on I think kaya rin po yun ang mga tanong dito. Tungkol talaga siya sa staff. Tungkol sa not having, because I know everybody here is the multitasking, double tasking, and that's that's common not just in church organizations but in NGOs na mag-multitask at magtipid kasi nga whatever we are spending on personnel, the lack of time of the set in the future we would be able to solve, in the near future we would be able to solve through a job analysis, and we would be able to solve through clear expectations of their tasks and their roles. So going back talaga siya sa HR, kasi sila po talaga ang magpapatakbo ng system, and strengthening the leadership, making the PDO director really accountable and responsible. Plotting with the PDO director what I want to achieve this year, what I can commit so that we could achieve. And nawawala talaga sila palagi. I can commit to SRG in terms of deliverables. And then siguro po, isa sa malaking maitutulong sa PDO staff would be the empowerment of the ambassadors. Because in the Srg Pdo Ecosystem organizational structure, it should be the ambassadors who should be helping the PDO, because since they are the ones implementing the programs and the advocacies, the ambassadors should be the ones doing the log frames, doing the grant proposals, and helping connect with the funders, with the partners, with the donors, because they are the program implementers also. Ang nangyayari po kasi na common misconception or common nating nakikita rin po, observance natin sa mga PDOs, pag nagka-PDO na sa congregation, yung dati inaasa na po nila lahat dun sa staff. Hindi na po gumagalaw yung mga dating ambassador sa dati naman tumutulong with fundraising, na dati naman tumutulong with proposal writing. Pero dahil nagka-PDO staff, ay, sila na yan, sila na bahala dyan. So naging ganun din po. So baka po yung, for me personally, that's what I saw, and that's what I hope that will be answered, the empowerment of the ambassadors for them to help with the PDO, the realization that fundraising is not the responsibility of one person, but the responsibility of the whole organization. Sustainability is not just rested on the PDO director, but on the whole organization po. Everybody is a fundraiser. Even your volunteers are fundraiser, your beneficiaries are fundraisers. So once we have that mindset, na nagtutulungan instead of working in silos, it will be easier, I think, for a PDO to succeed.
Thank you, Madam. Madam, are you back?
Oh, can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, what was the question? I'm sorry.
What do you think is the common ground or reason why PDOs, some of the PDOs are not still seeing results? Nicole answered staff, same as Ms. Kel.
Yeah, I think I would go back to the leadership call of the director. The director would play a very important role to navigate the situation first of all. I saw a lot of staff also that would be needing a lot of support from management. And the director's role is to ensure that if the staff and the rest are not performing, it's a call of accountability. And I think the team, it takes the team to make it work. And for Spring Rain to also navigate, we have to understand the journey together. So if I speak in behalf of SRG in terms of our role to make a PDO successful, it's halfway done kasi hindi siya pwedeng all SRG, hindi din siya pwedeng all director. So the success would lie on the director and SRG. Tayo lang po ang magsasama kapit bisig kahit anong mangyari. Whatever happens to the rest of the members in your team, if the director will hold on with us, we can understand together. So role ni SRG, Ms. Ann, and the director, ang vital, 50-50% role nun. I would say siguro ang ma-miss sa amin is because maybe we haven't reached out as much or understood as much, and the part of the director maybe walang masyadong data nakikita down the line. Maraming reasons. But for me, may mga circumstance din, and sorry for the word, politics, leadership politics that hinders the growth because one doesn't approve of the other. May mga PDO directors ako na gustong-gusto na but hindi supported by management or the rest of the members, pero hinayaan and all that. But in the end, it's part of the journey, and we have to understand what do you mean by success when it comes to this kind of work. Para sa akin, the moment you make the decision to really put professionalization in this work is already for me a defined success. That mindset, defined na yon na gusto mo kasi nakita mo na eh. Now, how do you implement that would really be both ends. But I would say it takes two to really make it work. The coach and the one who is playing. For basketball, kung manalo ka, hindi ka mananalo sa basketball pag hindi din nakikita ng coach na ito dapat yung gawin mo. Kasi you do not know how it all work eh. And then it's not just about one person or two. For me, accountability, all of us are accountable. Pumasok ka sa Spring Rain, accountable kami. Kaya ginagawa namin kung anong dapat gawin namin. And the directors and the team will also be accountable at some point, and we meet together. Para sa akin, that would be it. Pero ang mag-uusap talaga, walang putol na communication, should be the director and SRG. And the staff will have to really also connect with nakita ko din may mga magagaling talaga na staff na hindi supported ng head, may magagaling na head na hindi, it's not a perfect picture, pero all of you magagaling sa puso kasi I know na you love this work and you love helping the community, and it's just that you're not able to get the grounds. And sometimes, and one more thing, the environment is not enabling success. You have to enable an environment of success. Hindi pwedeng negativity, hindi pwedeng faith is not even, parang walang donor, walang ganun. I mean, it all starts with enabling environment. Yung trust in the providence and trust in ensuring that environment is, hindi yung puro ka lang judgment and all that. We have to enable a successful environment. And for me, all my leadership skills has been tested in terms of ensuring unity in all. Yun ang bottom line ko dyan. And sometimes there are cases wherein hindi nagkakatwik yung team, yung ambassadors and all that. And it takes sometimes an outsider to mold and put the pieces together. So let's just understand how we need help together. Thank you.
Last na lang din po. Sorry, may nakalimutan ako. Yeah, so I understand. I agree with everything that Dr. Glenda said. But I guess another factor why some of the PDOs were not succeeding pa. And would be maybe the misunderstanding of what Spring Rain is and what Spring Rain is doing. So I hope po that we are trying to revise this and to answer this year after year, that maybe some of the PDOs po kasi they joined expecting that Spring Rain will be the ones giving them funds or just or linking them talaga na yun lang po ang gagawin ni Spring Rain talaga, mag-funding for them. So maybe dahil dun sa misconception or misunderstanding na yun, hindi na po nagagawa yung mga system, naghihintay na lang talaga sila for funding. So I guess po, and we are doing naman our best based on what you have heard in the PDO directors meeting. We hope that we were able to make the PDOs here understand that Spring Rain really is in the business of capacitation and empowerment, not in fund facilitation. So if we will just wait for funds to come in, signing up with Spring Rain and just waiting, talaga pong mababagalan po ang ating success. Yun lang po.
Thank you. Nicole, you want to add to your answer earlier? You were cut off.
Yes. Okay, as mentioned, people are our assets. So if we could just be more open to have to start up with your office to have one staff, and as Ms. Kiel mentioned, also empowerment of the ambassadors, the whole team of the PDO. And another thing is we all know that the PDO directors, especially the nuns and the priests, will be changed, reshuffling, changed into another assignment. And as long as you have a staff or constant na tao po na andun sa office, tuloy pa rin ang ligaya, tuloy pa rin ang success ng PDO. As long as andun pa rin po ang staff na nakapag-start siya and just follow the system, PDO will be successful. Ayun lang.
Thank you, Ms. Nicole. And Ms. Prasa has a comment regarding my question. All big development offices starts as small, correct? For me, it's not a problem that for now you only have one staff, but don't dwell there. You need to work and move forward because you have beneficiaries you need to help. So yun lang po, yung mindset talaga that this really should work because we have beneficiaries. Yun lang po. Thank you so much, everyone. That ends our panel discussion for the first day of Spring Rain Global's annual PDO directors meeting. I'll turn you over back to Nicole for the election of officers. Nicole?
Okay, thank you, Miss Anne. And of course, to Dr. Glenda and Miss Kel. So now we will proceed with the election of officers, and we will be sharing the guidelines, and after which we will also share with you the Google form on how you could vote for our new set of officers. And to share the guidelines of our elections, may I call back Miss Anne Marie.
Sorry po. Sorry po, I thought it's Miss Nicole. Nicole, can you share the guidelines?
Yes, Miss Clay, please.
Okay, I will read to you the guidelines for the Springway Global's Ecosystem Officers Election 2022. So please listen and understand carefully po, because you will be choosing your set of officers. The nominees for ecosystem officers shall be the PDO director or the deputy director of the respective PDOs. Number 2, the elected officer's term is 1 year, but can be re-elected up to 3 terms or 3 years. The member's 1-year term shall commence on May 1 of the calendar year. Any alternate called to serve shall serve for the unexpired term of the officer. Number 3, in the event that the president-elect will be transferred to another assignment or reshuffling, the vice president shall take over. Apply. And so vacancy in the office of the president. If the office of president is vacant, the vice president becomes president and selects a new vice president from among the remaining officers. Simultaneous vacancies in the offices of president and vice president. If both offices of president and vice president are vacant, the officers shall elect from among its members, other than the president-elect, a president who then selects a vice president. Number 4, for a vacancy in the office of secretary or treasurer, the president shall select from the remaining officers. Number 5, if the ballot results in a tie for any post, a second ballot shall be conducted for that specific post. We now move on to the duties of the officers. The president, it shall be the duty of the president to preside at meetings of the ecosystem. The vice president, it shall be the duty of the vice president to prepare for his or her, or to preside at meetings of the ecosystem of officers in the absence of the president, and to perform other duties as ordinarily pertaining to the office of the vice president. The secretary, it shall be the duty of the secretary to keep records, record attendance at meetings, send out notices of the ecosystem of officers, record and preserve the minutes of the meetings, and perform other duties as usually pertain to the office of the secretary. That is all, Clay. The treasurer. It shall be the duty of the treasurer to have custody of all funds, accounting for it to the officers annually and at any other time upon demand by the officers, and to perform other duties as pertains to the office of the treasurer. Upon retirement from office, the treasurer shall turn over to the incoming treasurer or to the president all funds, books of accounts, or any other property. Meetings. An annual PDO directors meeting like this one shall be held each year during the month of March, at which time the election of officers to serve for the ensuing year shall take place. Number 2, regular meetings of the officers shall be held each quarter. Special meetings shall be called by the president whenever deemed necessary or upon the request of 2 directors, due notice having been given. Number 3, reasonable notice of any change or cancellation of the regular meeting shall be given to all officers. Number 4, virtual meetings or meetings may be in person or virtual, via Zoom, or a combination of both. That ends, Clay. Yeah. So now back to you, Nicole.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Anne-Marie, for sharing the guidelines. And now I'd like to call Miss Kleinid to share on the Google form on how we could vote. Miss Clay, you are on mute.
Sorry. So good afternoon, everyone. So here's the Pdo Ecosystem election for officers Google form, where you can input your name as the voter and your email. Then once you once you input your email and name, you can just click next, and you have 3. You can nominate 3 times. So on your first nominee, you can choose which of these PDO directors. So we have Doc Marisa from the AMCA Learning Hub, Sister Niseta Vargas from ASO PDO, Father Bernard Holzer from ALC PDO, Father Matt Labrador, FDCC from Bakita Canosa Foundation, Miss Maria Emma Ramas from Bayan Nutrian PDO, Sister Christine Estina, PM from Carmelite Missionaries, Sister Flor Duran Carmel from Carmel Development Center, PDO, Miss Vivian Barameo, Cebu Pink Paddlers, PDO, Bishop Renato Mayugbal, DD, Diocese of Lawag, PDO, Father Tito Bunuan from Diocese of Lawag Catholic Educational System, or DLSS, PDO, Father Alwan Jimenez, Diocese of San Carlos, PDO, Miss Melissa Montilla from Leyte Calipayan, Dance Troupe Inc., PDO, Father Roque Aristotle Padama, OFM Capuchin, from Lourdes School, Quezon City, or LSPC, PDO, Sister Nida Vio Vicente from MMPI, or Marian Missionaries of the Philippines, Inc., PDO, Sister Flor Sicuya from Paglaom, PDO, Father Rico Ponce O'Carm from Order of Carmelite, PDO, Miss Leia Lanzuela from Pangarap Foundation, PDO, Father Orben Gonzaga, TP from Passionist, PDO, Sister Rizalyn Solitario from Claretian Missionary Sisters, or CMS, PDO, Mr. Jonathan Sabate from RCMC, PDO, Father Ray Dagitera, FDCC from San Pablo Apostol, SPDO Tondo, and Father Mario Castillo, CM from the Vincentian Foundation or VMS VFI PDO. So from here, you can choose your nominee, then your reason why you are nominating your first nominee. Then from there, once you click your choice there, like for that, this is just an example. Then you can repeat that nomination 3 times. So if you want, this is your second nomination, then you just have to click, and on the third, you have to repeat it on the third time. So like that. Like so. Once you're done, then click submit. So that's it. We'll send the link in the chat box below. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kleinid. So we will be extending a little bit. So we will be giving 10 minutes for you to vote, to cast in your vote. So Ms. Clyde, please post the link here so that everyone present now can vote. Okay, so just to add, the detailed collaboration work with for the officers are usually in the office of Dr. Glenda. So I hope you were now able to click on the link sent by Ms. Kleinid in the group chat, and we will leave you for 10 minutes to cast in your votes. Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone for casting in your votes. The election of the officers will be extended tomorrow until lunchtime to give chance to those who were not able to cast in their votes today. So before the closing remarks, may I request everybody to turn on their cameras for our picture taking. Ayan. Please open your cameras. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. One more. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, thank you. And now to give the welcome remarks, closing remarks, sorry, and to give the closing remarks, may I call on the current Vice President of the Ecosystem and the Advisory Board member of Spring Rain Global, Father Gerald Borja, CM.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Father.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Father.
It's been a while since the last time I joined the board meeting. I'm currently on hibernation mode, having my sabbatical break here in Sorsogon, where usually my daily routine would be to go cycling and then play tennis and meet some friends along the way, old friends. And this sabbatical break has provided me with a lot of space to go back to my roots, which maybe I would like to connect with what we're doing right now. We're doing right now within the Srgpdo ecosystem, both individually as one family, that I think always going back to our roots, to our sense of mission, to our sense of purpose, and to the fundamentals of who we are as individuals and also as an organization, I think is key to whatever to the success of everything we're doing right now. Because I think at the heart of everything is our hearts that will spell a lot of difference. The rest, I think, can be taught if we have the right attitude, and then to learn new skills, and then if we have the right mindset to open to new possibilities. So I think that's all I'd like to share probably. And I think a lot has been said, and I was listening, especially in during the afternoon session, that I think we're basically going back to the pillars of the Srgpdo ecosystem. Maybe I would just like to encourage everyone to revisit that, because I think these pillars are one of the most, if not the most important ingredients for the success, stability, and sustainability of our organization, without which we cannot talk of sustainability. We cannot talk of continuity. I think without those 7 pillars or 6 pillars, all our initiatives will be at risk. Maybe not next year, maybe not 2 years from now, but maybe a year or 2 or 3 or a decade later, without a stable organization, I think it's somehow doomed to fail. So yeah, I think yun lang po. I also realized that you are also having your you just had your election today, and I wish you all luck to those who will be elected officers of the Srgpdo ecosystem. I wish you luck, and I hope you can, do also your own share generously, and generously in promoting the advocacies of the Srgpdo ecosystem, and make a big difference as one corporation, so to speak, in helping poor people needing our help. Thank you so much. God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Father Gerald. And thank you everyone for your presence, for your time. And we hope to see you tomorrow for the second day of the Spring Rain Global's annual PDO Directors Meeting. We will be using the same link for tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. We will now have our closing song.
Rain that falls from the distant sky, the water that runs, a source of life for humankind. When it overflows, it reaches out to more people. And heavenly blessing is shared to all the rest. In the face of world's iniquity, there's a special part that we were tasked to play. The wish of people in dire need, the fullness of those who hope to help. This we want to bridge the link between. Together we will build roads for visions to come alive. Ignite more power and strength for you to make other people grow. The dreams that you and I have shared, a better life for all the rest. The power of this dream is starting to come true. Reaching homes, reaching lights, share the blessings, make them flow. Let us offer, reach out to many others, lift our spirits too. Reaching homes, reaching lights, in your journey we will guide. For inside our hearts lies the inspiration, the gift of love resides. In the face of world's iniquity, there's a special part that we were tasked to play. The wish of people in dire need, the fullness of those who hope to help. This we want to bridge the link between. Together we will build roads for visions to come
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
We will be opening the Zoom tomorrow at 8:30 and session will start at 9 o'clock.